Does Fox nail the most colossal, biggest villain in the X-Men universe?
We'll talk about both the ups and the downs. Hey everyone, this is Bryan and Leo from Big Time Super Friends.
And before we get started with our review, guys, we want to remind you to check out the reviews to our other X-Men movies, 1 through 5, in the links in the description below. Right off the bat, they show the first mutant, they show his powers amassing as he's obviously transferring from body to body. And he gets trapped back in ancient Egypt times and reawakens in the modern times with the X-Men in play. I mean, okay, so he acquires his 4 horsemen, his new ones. Storm, Psylocke, Magneto, and then, Angel, and then Magneto.
Yes.
And the thing is that these mutants don't have their full abilities, and I think they do a really good job at showing you them reaching their full potential.
He sees them, we see them as he's coming in at their kind of basic knowledge of their power. And he's like, we can really build off of this.
Which is cool, because I think he does.
You'll find you have the power to move the very earth itself.
Yeah, he's like, well, if you join me, you can do this.
You can have this. The carrot on a stick.
He bribes them, essentially.
He really does. He really does. Because we definitely see how much or how little he cares for these characters.
Yeah, I say how little, really.
Yeah, you're right. How little. Well, he's little in other areas, too. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the character of Apocalypse.
Oh, dude. Okay, so obviously, like everyone already knows, this fool looks like Ivan Ooze, straight up.
He really does.
And which I don't think is a bad thing, because I understand you have to take a character's costume and you have to kind of modernize it. That's why we don't see Wolverine in the yellow spandex. You got to get something similar, but
the thing
make it presentable.
The thing about this character is he's so iconic. He has a specific look, like the Joker. You can't change the Joker's lipstick to like purple or green, because then it wouldn't be the Joker, it would be something else. So in this situation, I think Apocalypse has the stature, the size of the character is it's big.
He's physically
he's
big,
a hulking mass, and
in this scene in this movie he was not.
He's not. He's smaller than the Horseman, and I think anyone who's seen any sort of has seen him in any pictures or anything,
he's always big.
He's always big. He's bigger than the X-Men. It's a big fight anytime he shows
He's
up.
like halfway between a regular human and like a Sentinel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
he's in there.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. It's like, I think everyone, when we saw the trailers at first, we were a little disappointed. Like, wait, that's the final product? I mean, not that the actor himself was a bad choice.
Which was weird, because I think before that, like his first actual image came out, like the behind the scenes stuff of like the face paint that we would see and stuff like that, it looked really cool.
It did, but he didn't have the lines yet, did he?
No. And I thought they were going to leave it like that.
Right, which I got used to that too.
Yeah, and I think when I saw the first image and then I compared it to the final image, I'm like, I think I hyped myself up a little bit.
I think so too. I did drink the Kool-Aid.
I did too.
I bit the hot dog. I kind of got upset right off the bat, and I went into the movie sort of feeling negative about the character.
Sure, I did too.
But I have to admit, I did ultimately like the portrayal of it. Now seeing it a couple times, I don't mind it as much.
I like that you could tell just how powerful he was, against all the other individual X-Men. Like, if it was a one-on-one fight with any of them, I don't think any of them would have stood a chance.
Well, I mean, they didn't, especially towards the end.
But yeah. This movie should have been and I hate to compare, like, the Marvel series, but I think that it should have been where it's building up to Apocalypse, and it would have had a much more bigger impact. But it felt like this was just a one-off movie, and that's what threw it off for me.
When you rewatch it, it's watchable.
It is.
The scenes with Nightcrawler are great.
And the Quicksilver scene, even though we've seen it before,
but still, it's good. It's a really good
still
scene.
a good scene. Same premise: slows down time, goes in, saves people, does funny stuff. But it still works.
And even what causes him to have to jump into that scene is the fact that not Scott, Scott's brother.
Oh,
Havoc.
Yes,
Havoc.
Jesus.
You know, he's trying to shoot Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And he disappears so quickly that he shoots the reactor and it just detonates the entire the mansion.
All will be revealed, my child.
Stop! No!
Yeah.
He blows it out.
Which is a cool shot.
It is a really cool shot because to that point, that's like the wrench. Like that's kind of little twist, right?
Yeah.
Like he causes the explosion and then Stryker.
Yeah.
You know, that element comes in and he captures them, and
I think it's the first time where you get a taste of some action really in the movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's
but it's just an explosion sequence, and there's
but I'm talking about leading up to the Quicksilver scene. It's
it is a snippet of a quick fight.
Sure,
it's very quick, but it's a fight nonetheless against Apocalypse. And he shows you how simple he can basically put aside these characters and just warp. He just warps. He just disappears.
He just leaves.
He doesn't even have to fight them, which is
creates a portal, bounces.
Yeah, and so it kind of shows you like, wow, well, how are they going to defeat this guy? How are they going to beat him if he can just disappear? Like they can't even approach him. Overall, they show a good. They do a good job at showing him with his powers, how he brings Magneto, that sequence with Magneto and unleashes his power.
Feeling the earth and everything like that? Yeah, that was a cool scene.
That's a really cool scene. I appreciate that scene.
Sure.
Even, when Angel, and I hate the design.
Of Angel?
Yeah, I hate the design. But
with its wings or without the wings?
No, the wings are cool, but features-wise. He was blue, he still had his hair. You know, I'm used to the Archangel.
You want the classic look.
Yeah, where he's like, he strips him
of all his humanity. Metallic, like...
But I mean, he strips his humanity.
Yeah.
And he gives him a uniformed look that kind of resembles Apocalypse.
I kind of liked his look. Low-key, like...
I overlooked it at the end because he got that new suit, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he got that new suit and he looked cool in that suit. But, it's just nitpicking here and there.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they show you Apocalypse's power. Whether it's too little too late at the end of the movie, or whether it's been building up slowly enough or fast enough for you, they show it. And you get a good picture of the threat that the X-Men are facing. And it does take something more to defeat him, which is
kind of how the movie ends, really, when we think about it.
It really doesn't. That's actually one of the saving graces of the movie for me.
I will agree to that.
Is what it took to defeat Apocalypse in the end. Because...
it took everything.
It did. They threw the kitchen sink at him. I mean, in the form of a phoenix.
It missed, but...
No, in the form of a phoenix this time, But, they show you how the team slowly builds up, the fight towards, with
how they're fighting each other first, and they're like, no, we gotta fight this guy.
Yeah. And then they figured out, like, we have to team up, and even Psylocke, no?
Psylocke leaves. She bounces.
No, Storm. Yeah, Storm.
Storm changes.
Joins the fight. Yeah. She helps out. She aids the team. But it ultimately takes the Phoenix.
Yeah. Now, that was probably, I think, the best scene.
I agree with you. The Phoenix scene is, I think, the payoff. It saves the movie to me.
Yes. The only thing is, and we were talking about this earlier, it's a great scene. I just wish it was just happened a little sooner. A little quicker.
I'm okay with when it came.
I understand build up.
Really
I understand... this character's core being is, her whole life she's been told to hold this force in.
Right.
And I understand being finally told to let go, and that takes time, that takes courage, that takes power, that takes all of that. I get that. But it shouldn't take almost 10 minutes to get there, you know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't 10 minutes, but you're right. It does feel like 10 minutes.
It felt like 10 minutes.
It's a good chunk of the movie at the end, and you can see this building up if you know who this character is and what she's capable of. You can kind of smell it. You know what I mean? You can smell it from a mile
I can smell it with the Rock's cooking.
Yeah.
She stands up, and you see her walking towards Apocalypse, right?
Right at him. And I don't think he's even acknowledged her presence at this time.
No. I think he's still, like, with Magneto.
He's fighting Magneto, and he's fighting Scott, and he's fighting Storm.
All of them.
And then even Beast shows up, but he
gets knocked the hell out.
The fuck out. Right. So... And then he puts Scott into the wall, the sand, and
knocks him out and shit.
Yeah, and Storm, she just passes out almost, and then Magneto's about to falter when in comes Jean Grey.
The Phoenix, really.
The Phoenix, yeah. And look, the thing is, she comes into the battle, the mental battle that's going on
with
between
Xavier
and Xavier, which is another little side thing that's happening in this giant fight. This physical fight is this mental battle.
And that really shows you, and we were just talking about this, just how strong Apocalypse is.
Mentally, not just physically, but mentally.
Well, both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't think people fully appreciated that.
I don't think so
like,
either.
That is,
I think that was
that's an Omega level mutant.
It is.
You know what I mean? But that just seems like a really strong dude.
Yeah,
you know?
and the thing is, like, Xavier, I like how Xavier acknowledges that, oh, he's let me in his mind. I have a way in to defeat him in the mind. But he proves to be stronger then, and he does take him off guard because he starts punching him. He lands a couple of good punches in that mind battle until Apocalypse is, okay, you want to play mind games? Let me show you mind games. I can actually change my size and my powers and my...
He's holding his ass down.
He just holds him down.
It's just like a dream fight ends in like fisticuffs. You know what I mean?
Right, that part of it did suck because I wish that Xavier could have shown some sort of ability other than just his mind power.
Sure,
was represented as a fist fight.
Yeah,
you know?
I wanted some like psychic waves or some shit.
Yeah,
bro,
something. I mean,
they're dreaming. They're like, well, not dreaming.
Well,
but they're...
can he grow too? You know, like
I don't think
rise up to the occasion.
I don't think his
you know
powers extend like that. I think it's just.
At least not in this.
But it's just a better ending fight scene.
Yeah,
but the way it ended, I think, with Phoenix, and I think the moment I realized, shit's getting serious right now, is when you see her walking, she just walks straight off the ledge, bro.
Yeah.
She's flying towards them, but floating.
Yeah, she's taking steps in thin air and right at him, and that's when he sees her, and then she realizes that she has to let it go, and she lets it go.
She unleashes the beast.
The beast, right. And then essentially just destroys the
and it was so
being
badass because I remember watching that and I got the chills, bro.
I did too. I still do.
Chills.
I still do. That scene where he's calling her out, it gets.
And you see like her screaming and stuff, and the phoenix like in her eyes, like
right. The power
comes
is
out at you,
right.
bro.
Yeah.
I was like, boom.
It does. You do get the degree of which her powers can amass, and obviously defeating Apocalypse. But so. We've talked a lot of good pros and cons, I think.
Sure.
So we've talked about, the good and the bad. How do you ultimately feel about this movie?
I'm gonna make this cut and dry, straight to the point. We talked about the good and the bad because I think that is exactly what the movie is. It's good and it's bad.
So what letter grade do you give it?
I'm gonna give it right there, center of the road. I'm gonna give it a C.
I agree with that. It's a C. But the thing is, the C to me is like a C plus. I think I give it a C plus because it's watchable. I'll watch it again.
I'll give it between a C and I'll give it a C plus minus.
A C plus minus.
I'll go right in.
That's very.
You gotta see the movie.
The minus for the diminutive size of Apocalypse, but the plus for the scale of the Phoenix.
All the camera angles having them looking.
He does look up to everyone.
C
plus.
C plus minus.
Alright guys, if you like this content, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you want to see the reviews to our X-Men 1 through 3, First Class, and Days of Future Past, they're in the links in the description below.
Now, although this movie did kind of culminate everything in the X-Men series as far as the movies goes, we still are going to be reviewing both X-Men Origins and the Wolverine, so be sure to keep an eye out for those. I promise you our reviews are going to be better than the movies.
And guys, this is also culminating and leading up to our review of Logan. So that's coming too. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Yeah.